No, we can do without video because we are going to
Okay.
be looking at my screen. So first of all, thank you. I've already said thank you, but I'm saying thank you again because new things have happened since I said thank you the first time. Which is that your message to me, which I have on my screen right here, um, has led to an interesting new endeavor, which is that you shared Stephen Wolfram's productive life, which I think the first thing that he talked about was his two-screen setup of private and public, and as a result of that, I now have two screens.
Yeah, that looks familiar.
Yeah, and so I now have two screens, and this is the memo for thinking in public in Mythos, and I am currently writing my Journey to One newsletter for the week, and the title is Thinking in Public, and so the rough outline, I'm still working on it. The rough outline is essentially like, which I love this quote, is how comes it that our memories, this is like 1665, how comes it that our memories are good enough to retain even the minutest details of what has befallen us, but not to recollect how many times we have recounted them to the same person?
Yeah, that does nail it, doesn't it?
Yeah, 1665. So anyway, so like that leads into recommunicating context, which then leads into you sharing Seeking the Productive Life, which is part of the reason why I found that it was alluring to kind of have a public record. So as you can see here, 2 weeks ago, Tobin sent me an article titled, so I would like to have something here.
Okay.
So in 10 minutes, let's crush through some epic bio for your epic life. And yeah, that is why I wanted to chat, is to collaborate on this guy.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to. Should we move backwards, most recent to?
Let's start with three descriptors. So entrepreneur, I think, seems apt, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be two that would clarify what type of entrepreneur you are?
Audience builder.
Okay. What would be more larger container?
Let me think.
I'm gonna put that as a note, though.
Digital marketer.
Okay. We'll use that for a minute.
Digital marketing focused entrepreneur. I would say curation, which you experienced firsthand, is a superpower for me, if you want to call it that. I gravitate to it naturally, and I've been trying to little by little figure out how to integrate that more into my work, because I think I bring a lot of value, but I haven't always tried to create a business or a monetization strategy around it in the past.
I'm just seeing this now, so I'm going to tangent for a second. So, what percentage of your effort or what percentage of your energy is focused on Must Try It Media versus the referral network?
Yeah, so the Must Try It Media is my business. That's 90% of my focus. The referral group is an asset that we're creating to give value to other entrepreneurs that we are connecting and collaborating with. Okay. So there's really no business model behind it. It's a group and resource that we're creating, and then teaching people how to work with each other to help each other get what they want.
Awesome. I like the term conversations at scale.
Yeah, that's actually, I call that our signature program. So, it's a term I'm going to be doing conversations at scale in some form 10 years from now, Brian. I don't know what it will look like, but I'm in the early stages of it, and I'm just going to stay on that topic and just keep making it better and better. But right now,
Yeah.
it's actually a program where we either coach and mentor it, or we do it for you. It's our actual what I sell.
Okay. That actually is reminding me of the digital Aristotle, which I'll send this to you in Discord, which is basically like kind of the future of education in the sense that it's a self-customizing system to the student, but outside of education, when you talk about just general communication, that is conversation at scale. It's the same thing, right? You create this ability to have a record, which we'll be talking about in the Journey to One newsletter. Okay, so digital marketer, entrepreneur. I'm gonna say, I think I have this in here.
Yeah, community builder is probably a generic big container, as you said.
I don't like manager.
I would say community builder.
Yeah. Community builder, entrepreneur, and founder. Okay, that I like. All right. Most specific. What is? How would you describe the services that you provide through Must Try It? In a non, preferably in an analytical, non-salesy way.
Yeah.
We get to the good stuff later.
Right. So we're providing, and you'll have to correct me because I mean I'm operating in the client acquisition space. So my intention is not to go to sales and marketing, but it is where we work. We're doing outbound sales and marketing. We are an outbound sales and marketing agency service.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
For entrepreneurs.
Sales and marketing.
Yeah, like a plug and play agency service for entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants.
Beautiful. I'm going to do this. And then I also have a tag for this. An outbound sales and marketing agency for entrepreneurs. I'm going to do which facilitates what they call conversations at scale. Hot. All right. And then, so now I'll be able to do this. And I will be able to link this conversation here. Cool. Okay. What next? What are some notable accomplishments of the course of that business, or your personal accomplishments in prior positions?
Mm-hmm. So I have a book coming out in May.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Digital marketer, community builder, author, and entrepreneur.
The book is going to be it's still in draft form. Where I'm working with a ghostwriter on it. It's called Just One Conversation Away.
Love it.
And it's a distilled version of our Conversations at Scale program.
Releasing
May 4th, Star Wars Day is the
nice.
the target. We've been building towards that since November, so we better damn well hit it now.
Is what did you call it? A synopsis or a summarization?
Distilled version. Yeah. I would go right to Conversations at Scale. I think that's rather than the Must Try It media. Most people don't recognize that name, Must Try It Media. It's my corporate entity, but I don't brand around it very much. It's usually just my name. And then the one piece of branding that I'm really focused on is the conversations.
All right. Have you tried trademarking it?
Not conversations at scale yet, no.
I'm currently investigating the value of trademarking something.
I did one years ago, and I felt like it was sort of wasted effort and resources. I'm kind of the mind now that I just want to move faster than people instead of defensively.
Yeah, that's where I've been finding myself as well. That's a different conversation for a different day, but I'm happy to hear you say that. Okay. Author. I'm also going to say, because I know you are, considering that we have 492 mutual connections. Connector.
I wasn't a less a year ago at this time. I had 400 connections.
400 total.
400 total, yeah. 417 exactly.
Now you have 4,700.
Which is not a number. I mean, your numbers are bigger, but I'm pretty proud of the process that we're running. Like we're really we've gotten away from the automation since the last time I talked to you, Brian. I think we're probably still testing a little around the automation. We are a human driven chatbot at this point.
Interesting. Tell me more about that.
So I have a team of VAs. I use my own services for myself. Plus I actually do it myself because I like keeping my skills sharp and learning, from the front lines. And so we literally have created like a conversational logic, like an if this, then that kind of approach where the VAs read the situation and then go to the appropriate next step in the conversation. And that is the big mistake that I see people making on LinkedIn right now, which is they're trying to use these automation platforms and they're pissing people off right and left. They're sending the wrong message, maybe the right message, but sending it at the wrong time. And
so it's automate. It's assistive, or I guess augmented, not automated. I mean, that human oversight, and that's the thing too, is that I think that a lot of people try and aim for these like sentient, AI systems, and it's like we're not there yet.
I'm not against automation, but I wouldn't even say that we're assistive. We are literally humans at a keyboard conversing with people and essentially doing the prospecting part of sales. So we're identifying prospects, having short snippets of chat conversation with them, asking qualifying questions, and ultimately holding their hand into the sales process, whatever that might be for our clients. But what's really interesting to me, I think will be to you, is what we have been learning, those sort of conversational forms. I then have been taking them over to Facebook, and I've been playing with my own chatbot there, which is automated. But I've sort of learned different phrases and different sort of ways to parse the conversation. And so I'm playing with the chatbot there because it's a little more accepted on that platform. I think it works a little better over there. And so I'm not against chatbots or automation. We're actually learning from what we're doing. It's just, it doesn't work very well on LinkedIn. I look at a lot of those platforms and I just am not comfortable doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, LinkedIn is, a lot of platforms. I think, LinkedIn, Instagram, kind of Facebook. It's bots talking to bots. And, and people already kind of expect that. So even if you are a human vessel, if you're communicating in a robotic tone, which is like, any of them, if I go into my inbox, it's like anything that I receive where someone's like, hey.
I think people sniff it out now, right? You must see that too, that the people you converse with, they can smell the marketing a mile away. So one of the first things I do when I receive those automated messages is I try to break the bot.
Right. Well, even if
Just
it's
to,
but even if it's not a bot, right? Like, so if you're at a networking event and someone comes up to you with like, a name tag that says their first and their last name and their company name, and they like walk up to you and like immediately go for a handshake or like insert themselves into a conversation and they go, "Oh, what do you do?" Like
yeah.
that is still, by some definition a robotic action because you're not it's so patterned into your behavior that you're not thinking about it. So you're not in the present moment. You're essentially living within a pattern, which is, by some definition, robotic behavior, living within a pattern. So even
I
if
think
it
that's
is
a good point.
a
Yeah.
human at a keyboard sending a message, if that human is sending the message in a habitual and patterned way, then it removes all sense of empathy and any form of human connection because they're just running the process of I'm looking for my next sale.
Yeah, that really has been the trick of what we're doing.
Wait, so you're saying the
If you want
trick is to be human and like give a shit? Oh my god.
to, to be human and give a shit and do it for somebody else,
Yeah.
because the VAs that I am training and work with, I have two types of clients. One would be a business where we're providing the VAs who are essentially doing the outbound prospecting for them, or we're training a business owner or a team to use our process. And in both cases, it's training them to recognize the patterns in the conversation. And because without the training, what I've seen is people just they fall into those habitual patterns and that don't produce the results they want. They drive people away unintentionally.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I would say that it's addictive at this point. Where people are just constantly like going after that next fix of like, oh, if I talk to more people, then I'll have like a 1% success rate and then I'll make millions of dollars. And it's like, right, but what about the 99% of people that you pissed off? Like, and actually, I'll send this to you as well. A new favorite term of mine is digital pollution.
Hmm.
Great article. Fantastic image.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that I am missing aside from my personal context of how we met, which is ironically through automation?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think that's the most relevant stuff. I could talk about background stuff, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure it's worth even getting into all that stuff, right?
Okay. What is the what does it look like if you, and I know we have like a minute, but if you paint the future, what does it look like?
Um, I think the thing that a reoccurring thought that I have almost every day is I'm going to do this conversations at scale thing. I'm going to be doing this 10 years from now.
Mm.
And so I am intentionally repeating that to myself uh, because it's a trigger for me to pick my head up and think long term about what we're doing.
Yeah, I like that.
That
And
the current form is a learning experience. We're gathering data, we're learning from it. It probably isn't what it's going to look like even 2 years from now, or I don't know when the next version of it will go. But I feel we are more focused on psychology than technology, right? It's the human, like you said, being human with each other. And that will never go out of style. And at the same time, the technology is only going to get better and better at augmenting that. Right now, it's a distraction.
I love that. Um, okay, I am going to go back in the recording and get that full quote, but that was fantastic. And I also sent you and I have it sitting next to me, but X pill. Once you click it, that'll make sense. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm gonna send this probably later today, and yeah, thanks for the context and the sound bites.
What is so I have two quick questions for you,
Hmm.
Brian, that I've been wondering about. So first one is I've clicked around a little bit in Mythos One, but is there like a search screen, or I've seen a couple times you pulled up like an index, and I've never found that before.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there is an index, but not for anyone besides me.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that I felt very disconnected from timelines, because I don't want you reading everything in my brain.
Hmm.
I want to have a conversation with you as we are now, and as we have that conversation, I just sent you three memos in chat that were brought up from the conversation. And so Mythos is very much designed of like the only way that you get entry points into my library is through conversations with me. Um,
Interesting.
and
Uh, it reminds me a little bit of the first time I sat at a computer and used the graphical internet. You know,
mhm.
the first time I saw the internet, not
That's a
Pine, not the email servers, but the websites back then. The only way to go from website one to two was to find a link on the first one.
mhm.
And so it was like surfing. Well, that was where the term came from, like
Yeah.
jumping from wave to wave, or website to website. But this was pre-search engine,
Well,
and
and in order to, I mean, yeah. I mean, browsing, I think, has really damaged us, because it's like, oh, let's have better discoverability of content, and you have all these algorithms that are helping you find more content, and it's like, do we really need more content? Like, do we really need to know the exact truth of every single thing that we're trying to find? I think that we're very much overloaded with information, and so Mythos is very intentionally built to backtrack. Um, and really just focus on the human conversation. I only want enough information in this memo of you to convey who you are and how I know you, so that people will decide whether or not they want to talk to you. I don't need to have your whole history so that people can be like completely immersed in your story, because that's not the point.
yeah, makes sense. Last question. So the Discord app, months ago when you and I first connected, at that time you had a coaching mentoring community of your own, and you were using Slack. Have you moved that all into Discord now?
So Ghost influence, which I do three parts. So the agency, the community, and the startup studio. So you're talking about the community. The agency is the thing that built Mythos. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The startup studio is the thing that built Mythos. The community, I basically just phased out probably back in 2000 and late 2017. And that was because in the process of trying to serve those users, Mythos was born. And then as I realized like what Mythos, as I was trying to figure out what Mythos was, I was like, this is far more compelling than teaching Reddit marketing. So I haven't migrated anyone over from that community, because that community is pretty barren at this point. But I actually was about to start sending emails to my old lists to invite people into Discord, but I'm filtering them based on friends of resonance. Uh, and yeah, still trying to figure that one out, in terms of like how to sort people. Like I have a conversation with you, I'm like, Tobin is a friend of resonance. You're talking about helping people have more empathy in sales. That is very much something that resonates with me and with this community. Um, and so moving away from the transactional kind of, we want to get a ton of views on Reddit, and it's like, that's anyone who comes to me and says like we want to get traffic from Reddit. Usually, if they phrase it that way, they're not the right fit for the Reddit culture as a whole. So, short version is by and large yes, but I'm not bringing people from the community where I taught Reddit marketing into Journey to One, which is Discord, because the purpose of Ghost Influence in Slack was to teach Reddit marketing, and the purpose of Journey to One in Discord is to unify friends of resonance.
Okay, got it. I've got to drop. Keep me in mind. Let me know how I can be helpful. I think we've passed some referrals in the past. If there's something useful there or follow up, just let me know.
For
Nice to
shizzle.
chat, though.
Yeah, likewise, and I will talk to you soon, and I look forward to hearing your feedback on this week's email.
Will do.
Talk to
Thanks,
you soon.
Brian.
Bye.
Bye.
Fantastic. All right. That was by far the most efficient live streaming session that we've done. It was also technically the second that was actually live, because like the 10 tests that I did through recording were not. But that being said, we will conclude.